What is going on out there, peeps? Over the years of covering Nicera Jacera, I've constantly had debates with people back and forth, some of them really good, intelligent conversations. Other ones, people just way out in left field. As time went on, the people that I thought were really off the rocker, I realized that some of them, it's not that they're off the rocker, it's just that they really, absolutely, positively believe what they're being told. Whether it is some wackadoodle stuff, whether you can show them the truth and it contradicts what they believe, it doesn't make a difference. They are bought in hook, line, and sinker. The one subject that I'm constantly talking about, of course, is a quantum financial system. Now, here's the part about it that sucks. Now, I do have a friend that works for the State Department. We talk geopolitics all the time. And I'd asked him if he ever heard of a QFS system. No, that's not what he does. He's not involved in finance or anything like that. He's more wrapped up into what's going on in different countries, mostly the Middle East, politics and stuff like that, concerns that might affect the United States, things of that nature. But that doesn't mean he won't catch something in conversation or catch something in passing. And so one time when me and him were talking, he goes, hey, by the way, that QFS system that you keep asking me about, I said, what about it? He said, it's real. And I said, whoa, you can't just drop this bomb on me. What do you mean? What can you tell me about it? And he couldn't tell me anything. It sucked. All he heard was somebody else having a conversation. They were talking about the quantum financial system. He stuck his nose in their business and said, hey, this quantum financial system, is this thing real? What is it? And the person told him that it's real and that we have it. That's all I got from it. And I can't tell you how much that sucks, because I'm one of these people that I don't want to talk about something that I cannot prove. Most of the time, the stuff that's out there, I could debunk it, no problem. No problem whatsoever. But in this case, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. You see, the person that's my friend, he's not the kind of person that would just lie about crap. This wouldn't be a joke or anything like that. All he's doing is telling me that in passing. Sure enough, he heard that the QFS system is real. Now, he didn't give me any details about it. There are a million different stories out there about what the QFS system is. The whole 9 yards. He didn't say, hey, this stuff comes from aliens. Or, hey, this stuff's only in your fifth dimension. No, none of that kind of crap whatsoever. He just said the thing is real. And from what I've been able to dig up about it so far, and I'm talking about real information, it's not exactly what people think it is. There is no aliens involved. Trump is not in control of it. The white hats are not in control of this system. That's all just BS. Nor does Charlie Ward sit on any kind of board, okay? I know you guys hear that story all the time, but that's not how it works. I've been able to trace that the system actually sits in the AIIB, which is Chinese controlled. Now, having said that, there is some back and forth going between countries on who is going to control the system. And I've explained that before in the past. So no one country that I have found out controls it. So what does that mean? Well, for right now, all that means is there's some system out there that's an alternative to our current financial system. And there's not a whole lot of detail about it. Not the kind of detail that we need. Not the kind of detail that we can actually prove. Now, you guys remember I did that Swiss France, whatever the hell it was, that website. This was a bank, or so the website played it off to be, that they were actually using the QFS system. And I've called them and I spoke to them and they told me that I would have to speak to a specialist who can explain the QFS system to me, the whole 9 yards. It sounded legit. But when I spoke to them, I could not get them on record. Not at all. Well, why is that? If this thing's legit and you are advising your customers to go into this QFS system, why couldn't you be able to talk about it? I never did get to the bottom of it, no matter how many times I tried. I even reached out to them on Facebook. So all that did is draw some red flags for me. Seriously. Anyways, like I said, from time to time, people give me new articles. And I mean, there's a billion of them out there about the QFS system. But this particular one grabbed my attention only because of the seriousness of the conversation I had with the individual who introduced this article to me. You're about to see what I'm talking about. Before we get started, though, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, and you should be, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you buy more than $100 worth of gold and silver, or any other precious metals for that matter, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. So here it is. I get this article. As usual, I go through them, and I just shake my head. I'm trying to figure out, what is it about these people? Where is their mindset? What is it about these articles that make you believe 100% in everything that you're reading? A lot of times I start to become concerned. I'm not even kidding. For me, I'm a person that wants a lot more evidence, a lot more proof behind what it is that these people are trying to sell me. I've done a billion videos, it seems like, on the QFS system, showing you all these fancy websites, all these fancy things that were put together. Some were a lot more advanced than others. One of them absolutely positively called themselves Pimpy's Investment Chat. Do you guys remember that? There was an entire website set up called Pimpy's Investment Chat Quantum Financial System. They had a CEO, the whole 9 yards. I was like, what the hell am I looking at? Remember that? And I exposed these people, showing you that the pictures that they were using, we did where you take the photo and you match it on Google, and that these people were real people, but they stole the photos from these people. One of them was a model. The other one was a woman who passed away years ago. It was pretty freaky to see. It really was. Anyways, to this one here, it says the quantum financial system explained and updated in detail. I said, okay, here we go again. So I've had conversations with the person about this article. So let's go over it. It said the quantum financial system is a megalithic financial structure that has been given to mankind by the heavens. So the first sentence right off the get-go, I'm like, what do you mean? Here we go. So in having a conversation about this particular article, the individual absolutely positively was sold on the idea that the quantum financial system is not man-made. It came from the heavens. I'm talking about aliens. It was a God-given gift, and the aliens give it to us. And at first, I wanted to do what I normally do, is poke and pry and give them a hard time. But I could tell in this person's voice that they were sincere. They absolutely believe this. So instead of being a doofus and messing with the person, trying to just use humor to bring to them common sense, this time I didn't. I sat back and I said, let's go over this. They absolutely believe this. Let's keep going. It said I called it a megalith because it stands alone as the most advanced financial system that anyone could imagine. The most advanced financial system. This technology has no peer on the earth at the present time. It is a magnificent system designed to take on the magnitude of accounting needed to balance every financial transaction in the world in real time. Now, the first thing that crossed my mind in this first paragraph is, a lot of times as I go from one website to another, these things become bigger than life themselves. The whole story behind them becomes magnified. It grows. All of a sudden it goes from, these guys with good brains put it together. No, these great scientists, then these aliens, then this is God-given. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, for the record, there is a quantum computing system out there right now that does a magnificent job of computing that cannot be matched at the moment. It is a quantum computer that's doing this. I also explained to you that the people that are working on this new type of quantum blockchain that's out there, they are creating a quantum cryptocurrency that will be used in this system. And it is an upgraded version of Ethereum. I showed you guys all the details in the video that I did. Why they chose Ethereum, I think they mentioned why in there, but I can't think of why off the top of my head. That was their choice, and that Ethereum was going to be the first quantum cryptocurrency blockchain that's going to be on this new system. To me, that was a lot more grounded, a lot more realistic. It says here the QFS is housed in a mega quantum conscious, the QC, often called a computer. The quantum conscious is divine consciousness that is being made available for us to use in the third dimensions. The tools it brings are necessary for us to usher in the golden age of mankind. Do you see how extravagant this becomes? It just gets bigger and bigger. So it's talking about a system that comes from divine consciousness that is being made for us in the third dimensions. That's one of those things that just grabbed tight into this whole Nasera Jacera thing, this third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. I've heard so many stories out there. I'm like, good Lord, stop, you guys, stop. What would be the purpose of creating a system that only a handful of people can actually use to their benefit? Because for whatever reason, people can't get from the third to the fourth to the fifth to the seventh, or whatever dimension they need to be at. Or they can't qualify through their subconscious mind to use a system because they don't know how to control their thoughts. It's ridiculous. The QFS is a ledger accounting system made up of individual accounts. The QFS is only one of many applications already housed in the QC, ready to be implemented. Now here's the weird thing. The Great Reset right now has created an internet system that they're going to force us into, or try to. It's called the Internet of Things, or the IoT. You're going to hear that term a lot. They control this internet 100%. And they have what's called the internet governance. And their job is to really censorship. If they don't like what you're saying, they can remove you totally off of existence. I mean, literally, no social media platforms at all, no more emails, no more text messages, no more cell phone. They just block you, period. And a lot of what we're hearing in this QFS stories almost matches up with what they're saying. So it goes on to say on here, the quantum voting system is another example. It is used in the 2020 elections and recorded all votes cast, both legal and illegal. It was one of the tools that Space Force used to gather data for proof of election fraud. It also recorded the name of the people who were responsible for the fraud. If that were true, we would have heard about it by now. People would have been arrested. We would have this so-called overwhelming evidence. You would have seen people go to jail. But when you ask the people that believe in this, they go, no, it's not time. No, not yet. Whatever needs to play out. What do you mean needs to play out? If you have this recorded information that without a doubt can identify that fraud took place and the individuals who are responsible, then it would be used. Why the hell wouldn't it? It doesn't make no sense. And I don't want to hear, because it's not ready, because that's not part of the plan. Well, then what is the purpose of having it? Come on now, people. Use your head. Another application is the Love One Society Action Plan. What the hell are you talking about? Structures to be used by hundreds of Zim holders. Good Lord. That's right. That's the other thing. Somehow, some way, magically, a handful of different currencies are the chosen currencies of the QFS system. The Zim dollars, which is like the worst currency in the world. The Iraqi dinar and the Vietnam dong all got pulled into this damn wackadoodle story. They have. But anyways, here it says hundreds of Zim holders. It will be set up in the QC When we program our RSS internet platform, the quantum internet is already in place and will be activated when the Starlink satellites are turned on. Why the Zim dollars? Does that make sense? They would just create their own dollar. Why use a current currency? That doesn't make any sense. Seriously, why use the Zim dollar? The crappiest dollar in the world. Use your head. They would just create their own currency. And now we got to wait for the Starlink system to be turned on. For the record, it's turned on. Everyone will have a personal portal to this quantum internet. Now, this is really scary because this does line up a lot with the Great Reset and their IoT, the Internet of Things. Each person will have their own exclusive identification that allows you onto the system so it can keep track of everything you do. And it does match up with what we're saying in this story. So it makes you wonder about these stories that are out there, that these could have came from the so-called black hats just to prepare people for what it is these people want to do to us. And the transformation would be easy because they're already bought into these stories hook, line, and sinker. So here we go. There's problems with the way this is written English-wise. You can see it's not proper grammar. It says in here, personal portals to this QI using any device now in use to browse that cannot abuse it. What the hell what are you saying here? Like Google, no ads, and unlike earthbound computers, well, what does that give you the impression of? That the computers that we're going to be using are not from Earth. It cannot be hacked, cannot be infected with viruses, and needs no outside source of power. Believe me when I tell you, in my discussion with people, they absolutely 100% sold on this. They no ifs, ands, or but. The computers were from divine intervention. They're not from Earth, and you can only access them if you can somehow manage to reach the fifth dimension. I'm like, okay. It would seem to me if this is done by divine intervention, that they would make it a lot more simpler and easier for everyone to access. Why make it so strict? See where I'm coming from? I find it hard to believe that God will say, look, I got this great system. It benefits everybody. Absolutely, it'll benefit you. It's a great system. But you have to be able to reach the fifth dimension. Well, what about the other people? Oh, wow, they're screwed. No, not going to happen. God will say, here is a system. It works for everybody. Everybody benefits from it all, period. The quantum computer will support us as we move into the fifth dimension existence. Well, let me tell you something. In the fifth dimension, you don't need freaking money. Okay? Seriously. People have to go out there and study the real information on the fifth dimension. There is no use for money. No need for medicine. All this crap, you think they're out there in the fifth dimension going, hey, did you get your money from the quantum computer system today? Yes, finally I got my QFS card. I've been waiting 4 days. No, there's no money. There's no need for it. So you don't have to wait for fifth dimension existence. If anything, it'd be needed now in this time, not in the fifth dimension. So it says, as we move into the fifth dimension existence, it is in benevolent harmony with the higher realms of creation and stands as a gift from God as a new financial system for the future of mankind until it is replaced with higher technology consistent with the higher realms. Oh, good Lord. People often do this in this whole arena where they go, hey, it's divine, God, spiritual, all those types of things. They do that and they play on the kindness of humans who really want to believe this. These people are God loving, and when they hear somebody else mention God and stuff, they want so bad to believe it that they will if you mention that this comes from God. But seriously, think about this. What would be the purpose and the need for a financial system as we evolve? There's no need for it whatsoever. we will be totally different types of human beings. The quantum computer stands ready to integrate into a galactic wide web system that will facilitate intergalactic commerce. Come on now, what do you say? Hey, I want a pair of those pants. Go buy them from Planet. What? Yeah, they have the best type of pants. Their material's much better. We are using the galactic internet commerce so that we can use our quantum financial Zim dollars to buy clothes. No, not necessary. Come on, people. Seriously? I mean, I try to be serious about this, but when you read this crap, there are people absolutely, positively believe every word of this. Scares the shit right out of me. This system will act as a chain of warehouses located on planets that hold commodities for exchange. So somewhere out there is the Wall Street for galactic companies. You know, these people, in all of their intelligence and all of their evolution, still walking around with brick and mortar warehouses so that they can sell you goods. Okay, interesting. It says on here the galactic internet for commerce using anti-gravity interstellar transports as fulfillment vehicles. What? Really? Why does it have to anti-gravity interstellar transports? What the hell are you talking about? The quantum computer begins our entry into the galactic society that makes Earthlings galactic human beings. While I don't think the QFS needs to make us into Earthlings that are galactic human beings, we are human beings. It says on here, I wonder how much it will cost to create the vehicles that will bring us to the age of intergalactic travel and subsequent commerce. What? Maybe I'm just crazy. I just can't understand why anybody would believe that advanced, evolved beings would have a need for commerce or currency. And you can see right here it says that these vehicles will bring us to the age of intergalactic travel and subsequent commerce. We may need a higher redemption rate after all. What? Like the higher redemption rate of the Zim dollars. Because God knows you cannot go to Mars, Saturn, Venus, Neptune unless you have your Zim dollars. Yes. God always has things in store for us, and it's not Zim dollars, trust me. Anyway, it says God will always have things in store for us that we may not be aware of until we allow the Holy Spirit to guide us and give us direction. And trust me, the Holy Spirit right now is telling me that this entire webpage is full of crap. Without this help and left to our own understanding, we might not prepare well for what is to come. Until we become rate conscious for ourselves. Rate conscious? Really? It behooves us to ask for a suggested $500,000 rate until we receive to ask for more. What the hell rate are you talking about? Are you talking about the redemption of any currency that we use here on this planet? That all of a sudden we get to, I don't know, request a specific rate using our consciousness? Come on, people, man, this stuff is out there. There's nobody in their right mind would have felt comfortable enough to make this type of web page unless they knew there's a ton of people out there that would fall for this crap. We got a little bit of history here. It says, let's put all the woohoo stuff aside and find out what the QFS has been doing over the past 3 years or so. It has been very busy. Has it now? The stories have been very busy. I don't know about the QFS system itself. Those involved in using this computer have used it to connect into the archaic central bank computer system. Really, what happened to the QFS system? I guess we're moving over to a whole other one. In doing this, it has obtained account information from every bank account and every bank in the world. With this information, the QFS is integrated into the Swift transfer system to where each transfer is channeled to the QFS to record transfer data. None of that made sense whatsoever. It just sounds like mumbly jumbly. If this is God-given, divine gift, then it doesn't need the SWIFT system. It doesn't need to collect the data. It should already have it. Here's the thing that gets me. People misunderstand what the SWIFT system is. You see, they're like, oh, this has to do with money. It has to do with, how we transfer things. All the SWIFT system is a communicational software. That's all it is. A communication software. Come on, people. Do your research before you write one of these mumbly jumbly articles. It says on here, each increment of fiat currency, regardless of the national currency used, it has given an electrical digital footprint that is used to identify every increment of currency within the banking system. First of all, if we did get some special kind of system that was given us by divine intervention, we would not be using fiat currencies. The fiat system has always failed throughout history. Every fiat currency has failed. So you're trying to tell me that God is going to give us some type of fiat currency? No. We would not be given a system that fails. And if you're trying to get everybody onto the same page, why would you have multiple different currencies? Just create one. Like the central bank digital currency. It says on here, the QC records all transaction data in its permanent storage center for all time, not just 4D transfers. Why choose 4D transfers? That's an odd number. And why does it need to be in there for all time? There's a reason why in accounting you only need to keep the records for 7 to 10 years. Because after that, there's no need for them. The QC was created out of time and was injected into the timeline for use by the Alliance. I've had some of the most sincere conversations with people who they really, truly believe this. They absolutely are sold that there's an alliance, that this thing is in the fifth dimension, so forth and so on. They absolutely believe it. And I can't understand why, because there's absolutely no proof and no evidence of this. The QFS system, like my friend said, it exists, but not the way people think. And as much as I would love to try to find information on it, I get whatever comes across me, I share it with you guys. But when I see articles like this, the fact is that most people, they would not create websites like this or say the things that they say in here unless they thought that the people they listen to them absolutely believed it. And the fact that there's enough people that believe it for people like this to create an article on a website is pretty damn scary. God is not going to create something to give to mankind that you're going to have a hard time getting into. Said the knowledge that the QC is penetrating into the central bank computers is not known to any bankers or their IT technicians. Well, is that right? Well, if it's not known, then how do you know? Come on now. How does this person know if they're trying to tell you that nobody knows that this system is penetrating the existing systems? They don't know. Well, then how do you know? I hear that all the time. Well, it's a secret. Nobody knows. Well, then why are you advertising it all over YouTube, or why are you posting it all over on Facebook? The point being, you guys, you got to be careful with this type of stuff. There are people out there that will play with your emotions. They'll play with your mind. They will give you false hope. That's not what you want. I see these types of websites all the time. They provide no evidence at all that the QF system is real and that it's being used. Just be careful is all I'm saying to you. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. Hit the thumbs up button if you're not a subscriber. Please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it, and I'll catch you later. I'm out.